Hello, good morning, happy Monday, happy spring. I hope all of the mothers out there had a great Mother's Day. I know I had a really great weekend and got it all in. Relaxing, cleaning, hanging out with the family. I did it all. So that is a good Mother's Day in my opinion. Who is ready? This is day one of the social media challenge. Get ready to learn a lot, to have some awesome takeaways, and I am going to be pushing you a little bit on the homework because I want us to get so much accomplished in our business over the next 8 days. So we are absolutely going to pack it in. This is an interactive session, so the first thing I want you to do is introduce yourself in the comments. I should be able to see them here. If not, I've got my iPad ready in case I can't see your comments from that far away. I am so excited to see who's here. Where are you checking in from? Tell me where you're from, what your business is, and one thing that is challenging you right now when it comes to your online presence, whether it is with your business or figuring out what your personal presence looks like and how you sell online. I want to hear everything that you are struggling with and what your challenges are, and we are going to work through so many of those over the next 8 days. So I want to see you in those comments. Let me know, check in with me and let me know where you are coming in from and a little bit about your business. So we are going to, over the next 8 days, walk through a lot of different topics that have to do with creating a digital presence for you and your company that converts clients, finds you those dream clients, and makes sales. Because ultimately, as entrepreneurs, our goals are heavily tied to revenue. Our personal goals are tied to the health of our business. We love these companies that we have created and we want them to be successful. So it's important that we understand this digital medium is absolutely the new networking tool, the new billboard on the highway, the new magazine that you get in the mail. All of that is wrapped up in social media, and it's so important that we use these tools to the best of our abilities. I'm going to be looking at this from the standpoint of a solopreneur. So if you own a business and you wear all the hats, you are the salesperson, the customer service rep, the web developer, the social media manager, the payroll coordinator, you pay all the bills, you do all the things. This is a training for you. Everything that I am teaching over the next 8 days has to do with creating a holistic plan for your business. I like to look at your business as a, whole kind of ecosystem, and what we do in the digital space really affects how our business is run and the potential success of our business. So I'm excited to dive in. If you're just joining us, jump in those comments, say hello, let me know where you're checking in from, and also tell me a little bit about your business. I want to see those comments rolling in. I'm gonna pull up my iPad now and see if I can see any of these comments a little bit better. Let's see what we can do here if I don't have my sound on echoing myself. All right, I think I see a comment. Let's see. Ange is here from sunny Seattle. I'm glad to hear it's sunny. It is sunny today here in Michigan. It was pretty gloomy and rainy yesterday for Mother's Day, but that was all right because all of our plans were indoors. I'm glad the sun is out now. I really hope that for those of us in the north, northeast, northwest, that spring is here to stay because I am ready for some nice weather. I don't know about you. All right. Let me start out with introducing myself, and I want to tell you a little bit about my journey because It weaves in the power of social media, the entrepreneurial journey, and I hope that it is inspiring to some of you who are just starting out in your journey of entrepreneurship to stay motivated, go through those ups and downs. It is a roller coaster, but you can absolutely keep going. So again, my name is Courtney Larvadain, and my company is Glow Social Media. We are a coaching and training agency that supports small businesses who want to understand how social media really affects many aspects of their business, and also how to create a social media presence that finds dream clients and also converts those dream clients into customers. So I have a background in social media, and it actually started long before my career started. I was always interested in online chat rooms. I'm talking AOL, dial-up. I was the kid who probably shouldn't have been in those chat rooms, hanging out, talking, and really just connecting with people online. That transferred to high school and college, where I was on MySpace, and then Facebook started when I was in college, and I absolutely loved the concept of being able to connect with people who you know and don't know through this digital platform and these digital mediums. And that was really special for me. I am a social butterfly in person and really like to take that same nature to my digital presence and kind of what I do in the digital space. I have met so many people through the internet. It is amazing. And some of the connections I've made have really been lifelong or business connections. I've been truly grateful for all of the things that have come through me leaning in to the power of online networking. So I had general interest in college. I had a blog. I did some video. I was very active on Twitter and Facebook, and knew that I wanted to be in marketing, and digital marketing was really not a thing when I was in college. So I have my MBA, I focused in marketing, and was fortunate enough to get an amazing position at the Walt Disney Company in Orlando, Florida, doing social media for Disney's fairy tale weddings and honeymoons. It was absolutely the dream job, and I loved it. It combined, all the girly stuff I love about weddings and Disney, and also all the tech stuff I love about social media and digital marketing. It was a great learning ground. I went on to be the first social media manager at a small television network, and this is kind of the beginning of when my entrepreneurial story takes off. So we all have different reasons for becoming an entrepreneur. This is a secret. I actually never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I thought it was silly. All I saw from an entrepreneurial standpoint were local entrepreneurs in my hometown who seemed to work so hard and struggle. And I thought, why would I work 90 hours a week for $0 when I could work, 40 to 60 hours a week for tons of money in corporate America and get that check every 2 weeks deposited into my account? That was my thought process, and I really didn't understand all of the nuances that are entrepreneurship and all of the different ways that someone can be an entrepreneur. I've always had a teaching spirit, and I didn't realize that being a teacher is a way to also be an entrepreneur. So I now have, fast forward, realized that I am fulfilling my mission of teaching people and loving people and serving people, and also building a successful business. And that is truly amazing. So it's 2012. I get laid off for the first time ever. I am devastated. I am scrambling looking for a new job. I'm living in Atlanta in an amazing condo and need to find something to pay the bills quickly. I am searching and searching. I am so qualified to find other social media positions. In lots of instances, I have become overqualified for a lot of the positions that were available in corporate America at that time. They were looking for people just out of college, and I already had a handful of years, a master's degree, and was hyper focused in this digital marketing medium. So I took the advice of my dad. We all know that if you have, great parents in your life, they can give you tough advice at times. And he told me to take the night off, eat some ice cream, watch some movies, and then the next day to get up, to sit down on my computer and let everyone I know that I had been laid off. And that was so stressful for me. I thought, I'm not telling people that I have been laid off. That is so embarrassing. And I just kind of shut my eyes and clicked send on a bunch of emails and started letting my network of fellow alumni, former colleagues know that I was laid off. This was the type of work I'd been up to, and I am absolutely looking for my next opportunity. Lo and behold, someone got back to me. A former colleague said, I cannot believe you have emailed me because I was just talking about you. Someone is looking for a freelance social media person, and I mentioned you, but I said, I don't know, she's working, she's doing her thing in Atlanta, she's probably not available. And then you show up in my inbox looking for an opportunity. So 6 weeks after getting laid off, I had my first freelance gig. I was doing social media for an online magazine that was run by the former editor-in-chief of Essence Magazine, Angela Burt Murray. And it was amazing. She had team in Atlanta, team in New York. It was such a cool project. And that was my first jump into starting this entrepreneurship journey. I still didn't think I was going to be an entrepreneur after that. I said, I'll do this while I look for work. And I continued to look for work, which didn't come because ultimately the universe had a plan for me, which was to become an entrepreneur. And I didn't realize why I couldn't find a job when I knew I was so qualified. I continued to tell people about the type of work that I was doing in the meantime, and people were referring me. I was getting clients here and there, left and right, and I had friends in my corner who said, let me help you set up a website. Let me show you how to set up an LLC so you can take money not through your personal bank account. And I started setting all of these things up, and a couple months went by and I said, I think I own a business. I still didn't have a business name or anything. So I decided to really lean in. I sat down, I came up with a business name, I decided what kind of work I was going to offer, came up with some packages, and things have just been rolling ever since. It has absolutely been a journey. There have been ups and downs. I'm now back in Michigan. I moved home about 6 months after starting my business. I was living with my parents, growing my business. That was a journey in and of itself. And then I get married and I move to Detroit, and then I start having children, and now I'm dealing with all of that, which is mompreneurship, which is an entirely other journey, which I truly believe that every struggle I have ever faced my entire life has led me up to the point of being able to be an entrepreneur with small children who all need a ton of attention. So that's my story in a nutshell, and it really perfectly combines social media interest with a reluctance to be an entrepreneur, but ultimately realizing that as a teacher and a trainer and someone with kind of that heart to serve and help and teach others, it really makes so much sense for me to be an entrepreneur. And I'm so, so glad to be here and to be able to share some of what I know with all of you. Let's see if there are any other comments. Okay, let's see. Hello, Doris from California. So good to see you. Let everyone know about your business so we can see in the comments. And we've got Charlene Hibbard, who's with Mary Kay here in Michigan. I'm so excited that you all are here. And again, I want this to be interactive. So if you have questions or comments or need clarification as these days go on, please, I'm going to keep glancing at my iPad here so I make sure I don't miss your comments. All right, so we are going to start today, and let me glance at my time, okay? We're gonna start today by talking about personal branding. So personal branding is really something that I think is so important to your online presence. I hear all the time from entrepreneurs who say, I do not want to be associated. I'm very quiet on social media. I don't want to be associated with my company or my brand. And the thing I like to explain is you have a personal brand no matter what. You had a personal brand before the internet came about. You had a personal brand before social media was a big thing, and you had a personal brand before you started your business. And you definitely have a personal brand now that you are a business owner and that social media is so prevalent. Your personal brand is just the way people think about you. Do people know you as someone who is helpful and always willing to pitch in? That's part of your personal brand. Does somebody know you as, the person that you can call at midnight if you are just having a stressful day and you need somebody to talk to and vent? That's part of your personal brand. All of that comes out whether you want it to or not. And it's important to understand that and to realize that leaning into that on social media is nothing but helpful, because that lets people know who is the person behind the company, who is the person behind the product and the service. And that's really what's going to get people to connect with you and the brand, because at the end of the day, you have a story, you have a reason why you started your business, and that is going to attract your ideal customer. So I'm going to walk through a few things that kind of explain personal branding and some ways to think about it. I'm going to talk about, what is personal branding? Why should you care about your personal brand online? Questions that you need to ask yourself when kind of developing and leaning into this personal brand, what you should even do, and then some tips and tricks. So we'll go through all of this. Old school personal branding for kind of the business owner, entrepreneur was showing up to networking events with a stack full of business cards, a logo on your polo shirt, and ready to shake hands and talk to people. That's still largely the case. Pre-COVID, and hopefully someday soon, we'll all be back in person and able to do some of those things. But things have changed a little bit. Instead of a stack of business cards, someone might say, connect with me on LinkedIn. You can look me up here. Or let's exchange numbers or email addresses and stay in touch that way. Everything is moving to these digital mediums and digital platforms because I've got a garbage bag full of business cards, and I couldn't find one if I wanted to. It is so much more helpful for me to be connected with everyone on LinkedIn because I can say, I don't remember her last name, but I remember her first name is Ange, and I need to look her up. Or I can remember the name of a business and look it up on LinkedIn and find the person it was who I was trying to connect with and speak to. It's really more helpful than just having a stack of business cards. Also, the way that you present yourself in person and online all comes across the same. So the way you show up to networking events, are you the person who is always dressed to the nines? Do you always have on your logo on your shirt? Are you always wearing the name tag of, your business? How is it that you show up? Are you always early? Are you the one who stays till the very end and shuts the party down? That's all part of your personal brand, and all of that can come across in social media as well. it's important to think about how to lean into those things that are so normally, authentically, and inherently you, and translate them to your online presence. So why do you need personal branding online? Well, you already have one. So when people look you up online, what do they see? Do they go to your LinkedIn and see that there's no profile picture, or it's a picture they can clearly tell is 20 years old? That's telling them something about your personal brand. So taking the time to make these tweaks and changes will show people that you care about your online presence. You want them to have the most up-to-date and correct information about who you are and what you're offering. So here are some things to ask yourself about your personal brand. Who is your audience? Who are you speaking to? Are you trying to attract customers? Are you also trying to speak to busy mompreneurs out there like I am? Women who are owning their own businesses and have children or grandchildren at any age and understand the challenges that come along with being a female entrepreneur and also having, household and family obligations to juggle along the way. I also think about who is my target market? Who is the entrepreneur that I am looking to connect with? Why would they be interested if they came across my social media profiles? What is it that's going to grab their attention? Think about also your niche. Is your niche based in a certain location? Are you a local carpet cleaning company and your niche is a handful of local neighborhoods? Or is your niche a type of person, a young woman who is just, entering the career world and is looking for, the right clothes to wear to, once her job returns in person? What is your niche? Dial that down and figure out how your social media presence can reflect an interest in that niche. Also, what are your values? What do you care about? What do you value? What's important to you? What's special to you? And how does your online presence reflect or not reflect that? If you are someone who prides themselves on always, being buttoned up and having everything in order, not having a profile picture probably doesn't show that's one of your values. So all of these things are connected, and in the mind of your ideal and dream client, they're seeing all of this, and even if they're not realizing it, they're taking it all in and saying, okay, your social media presence or lack of social media presence is saying something to your target market. And finally, what does your ideal brand look like? This is my favorite part because I love scoping out other people's social media profiles. So I will look up other coaches and teachers and consultants, and I will look up mompreneurs and see what they're doing in the space and see the things that they're doing that I like, and see some of the things that they're doing that it's like, that's inherently not me, that's not authentic to me, I won't be doing anything like that. And you stick to it. Everyone does things a little bit different, and it's important to get out and do a little bit of research and see who's out there in your industry, in your niche, and what they're doing in the space, and decide if it's something that works for you. So when it comes to your social media presence, and this is personal and professional, you want to keep in mind 3 R's. They are reciprocation, respect, and reliability. Reciprocation means get out there and don't just post content. Also, show up to other people's things. If someone have a live podcast that they're streaming, show up, have questions, write comments, respond to the photos and the videos that you see posted online. Reciprocate what it is that you want in return. Respect. This goes without saying, but I think on social media we can sometimes forget that, we're not hiding behind the computer screen. So we always want to be respectful. And I find that this is even more important with kind of the onslaught of some aggressive salespeople on social media, you always want to remain respectful because you never know what connection you can make from that person. And even if they're being really aggressive, you can always show them that you are polite and respectful, and you can respect their hustle, respect their time, and still let them know whether you are interested or not. And finally, reliability. Social media is a journey. It is not going anywhere. And I always say, once you get this wheel turning, you kind of have to be committed to being the hamster on the wheel. But I'm going to give you some tips so you don't feel like you're running in circles. But you definitely have to decide to show up and show up reliably. If you say, I'm going to post 3 times a week, you've got to figure out a way to post those 3 times a week. Because reliability not only helps you build that social media presence, but it also lets your followers and potential clients know that you're gonna be there for them. And that's really helpful. Okay, let's see if I have any other comments. All right, Leon is here from Pittsburgh. Hey, Leon. And Dr. Randy's here from Grosse Pointe in Michigan. Awesome. So glad you guys are here, guys. Tell us a little bit about your businesses in the comments too. We're talking personal branding. So, how to begin? I like to think about crafting your ideal brand. So I hinge everything on 3 pillars. Decide upon 3 pillars, and these are kind of the things that you are going to hang your hat on. They don't necessarily have to be values, but they are essentially broad topics or pillars that you are going to always make sure that you fall into. So mine are mompreneurship, social media, and my kind of personal lifestyle journey. Those are the 3 things that I hang my social media hat on. And if you visit any of my social media profiles, you will see me talking about one of those 3 things, whether it is, planning my daughter's birthday party or sharing social media tips and tricks in my daily video called The Daily Glow. Decide what your 3 pillars are going to be. And that way, as you're creating content, as you're thinking about what to share, what to create, you can decide, does it fit into one of these 3 pillars? And if the answer is yes, go for it. If the answer is no, maybe this isn't something that belongs on your social media page. And this helps us from kind of going down our ranting rabbit holes of posting about things that don't necessarily align with our brand. Maybe it was just something that was bothering us at the moment. So think about those 3 pillars. Then I like to say update or create all of your profiles at the same time. So whether these are your personal profiles or your business profiles, take 30 minutes and either set them all up or look at them all at the same time. And we're going to be talking about social media auditing in the days to come. But look at everything at once. See if your profile pictures are outdated. You can update all of them at once very quickly. Look at what you've written in the bio. Do you have a link? Is that link going somewhere that's still relevant? Go ahead and update all of that stuff at the same time. And then you want to start creating as much content as you possibly can. We are going to be talking content on day 3. You do not want to miss it. It is going to be insane. Your mind will be blown, and then I will fix it all and show you how this is actually attainable, because you have got to be ready to create mountains and mountains of content, which I know seems really stressful, but I'm going to show you how to make it super easy. Finally, I've got a few tips for you. Number 1, video. Video is absolutely the most engaged with and important medium online right now. From live video to YouTube to stories and reels and TikToks, everyone is watching and engaging with video. So it is really important that you figure out how to make video work well for you. I'm going to be talking about video as the week goes on and different ways that you can get into video if it makes you cringe and the thought of putting yourself on video makes you want to run away and hide. I'm going to talk about some ways around that and also some ways to start to get comfortable with being on video. And my number one tip is have your notes. It's okay to have your notes. Nobody is going to judge you, and you are going to stay on track and feel really confident about what you're talking about. Ultimately, video builds trust because you get to see me. It's not a still shot. It's not just text. You get to see kind of the living, breathing, moving, talking version of the person that you are watching, and it really can create that connection. Video performs very well on mobile. Everyone watches video on mobile from the moment they wake up until 2 a.m. when they can't sleep. Everyone's watching video. Also, Google is really starting to take an interest in video and using it to actually help your search rankings online. So if you have a YouTube channel or are putting video out on your website, Google is actually looking for video, listening for video, and is using that to increase your search engine results, which is so important. And then finally, I mentioned engagement. Video gets exponentially more engagement than any other type of content that is put out on social media. So if you aren't using video, that is going to be probably your top challenge in this social media challenge, is to start thinking about and figuring out what a video presence looks like. So some tips and tricks when it comes to personal branding. I mentioned researching other people. That's the best way to figure out what you want to talk about online, how you want to come across. I love researching types of content, types of things that people are talking about and are interested in. Also, Google yourself. See what comes up. You might be surprised. Some of your social media profiles might come up in a Google search, which means when someone puts in your name, they are going to see your social media, whether you like it or not. As an entrepreneur, we have to lean in to this personal brand. Just like we figured out how to become slightly comfortable with networking in person, even though walking up to someone you don't know and shaking their hand makes your stomach churn. We figured out how to do it in a way that's authentic for us. And it's the same way for our social media. We want to figure out how to build an online personal brand that is comfortable and authentic for us. And then finally, figure out what your personal brand might look like on each platform. Do you want to be active on TikTok? What does your LinkedIn profile look like that might be a little bit different than what you put on Instagram? All of it can be a little bit nuanced, but ultimately those 3 pillars are going to be the cornerstones of your personal brand. Okay, here's my homework for the day, because time is ticking, and then we're gonna talk about something else. So my homework for personal branding is for you to look through all of your personal social media profiles and start to do that mass update. I'm sure your profile pictures can be updated. I'm sure you need to take a look at your bio or what the link is on your Twitter account that you haven't been on for years. Make sure that your LinkedIn profile is up to date. Do you have a cover photo? Get a cover photo. So that's your homework for today with personal branding. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about setting your business up for social selling success. When we think about social media, some people think about it in terms of just marketing. This is just a place for me to talk about my business and showcase the products that I have or the services that I sell. But ultimately, you can use social media as a lead generation tool, as a way to attract or even reach out and find your dream clients. So to set your business up for social selling success, you need to think about what social networks does your business need to be on? Do you need to be active on Twitter? Are you part of maybe the literary community that is still very active on Twitter? Do you want to be active on TikTok? Do you think that there is a space for you on TikTok? And let me tell you, it does not have to be all dancing, because I am not dancing on TikTok. Let me tell you, that is something that I will never be doing. But it doesn't mean that there is not a space for me to teach and train in a different way and showcase my skill set using these mediums like TikTok and Instagram Reels. I can still do that. So what you need to do first is you need to do a social media audit on your company. Go through, see what social networks you're on, make sure you've got all the links, and then start to look at the completion of each of these pages. Oftentimes, we set up social media pages. I make a Facebook page for my business, I slap up a logo, and then I never go back to it. So looking into your About section on your Facebook page for your business, is it still accurate? Have you pivoted since COVID hit and you want to share that you are in a different direction and offering different products or services? You also want to make sure that your links are still valid. Have you changed your website recently? Your website's also an important part of this. Go through your website, see if there are any updates to be made, see what you can add to enhance your website to make sure that people understand what it is that you're offering and learn a little bit about you, your journey, and the business. You also want to take inventory. This is when I like to either get out a piece of paper or create a spreadsheet and take inventory of how many social media followers you have on each platform. Date it, and then this time next year, set a calendar reminder in your phone to do another audit. So then you can see, wow, I gained 500 followers. I didn't even realize it. But it's important that we take down those statistics, or we won't know if we have been growing and changing and evolving and getting better as time goes on. Also, when you're conducting your social media audit, you want to take inventory of how often you've been posting. This is probably the best way to figure out what you're capable of, because oftentimes we get super pumped and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna post every single day, it's gonna be amazing. And then a week later, it's like, I can't do this. So looking at what you've been able to do historically, just kind of organically, is going to give you a good idea of how to make a stretch goal that's not just, completely unrealistic. So if you go through and you look at the past year of social media posts and you say, okay, I've been posting about 2 to 3 times a month for since 2021 started. I want to just add 1 more post each month. I'm gonna go from 2 posts a month to 3 posts a month. That's really all I feel like I can accomplish, because those 2 posts a month were stressful for me to get up as it was. But if you're feeling really pumped and really motivated, you might say, wow, I was only posting twice a month. I can do way more with that. I wanna post once a week, and that's gonna double me to 4 times a month. So you can start to see where you've come from so you can decide what kind of goals to set down the line. See if there's any comments here. Oh yes, okay, good. Video is tough, everyone's sharing. Awesome, so glad you guys are here. Perfect. All right, back to your social media audit for your business. You also want to think about, what types of people have you been connecting with? Who's following you? Are they mostly friends and family? Do you have client base that has been following you? Take a look at some of the social media profiles of people who have followed your brand recently. Are they potential clients? Does that show that the things you are posting are attracting the right clients? And then get back to doing that research. research your competitors. Even if, they are on the other side of the country, you can kind of see what other people in the space are doing and what they're doing well and what they can kind of improve upon to decide what you could do well and what you can improve upon. And then you want to start creating goals. I love the acronym SMART. So these are specific, measurable, accurate, achievable, what's my R? Relevant and time sensitive. I'll put it in the comments. So you've got your SMART goals, and the way I like to explain a SMART goal versus a regular goal is a regular goal might be, I want to get more sales. Well, that is very vague and open-ended. A SMART goal is, I want to book 4 new clients by the end of third quarter. That is a specific goal. It is, relevant to your business. It's something that you can achieve, and it's time sensitive and specific. So it gives you a deadline. I also like to create goals in shorter deadlines. So the furthest out I will look is like 90 days. Of course, I have my 1-year goals, my 5-year goals. I've even got 10-year goals. But ultimately, when I start working on something specific, I want it to be a 90-day goal. And the reason for that is subconsciously, this is like, neuroscience stuff. Subconsciously, your mind treats any goal the same. And so if you give yourself a goal to lose 10 pounds in 2021, you may or may not achieve it, but it's going to take you all year. If you say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 90 days, you also may or may not achieve it, but you also have worked so much harder in just that 90 days, opposed to the whole year when you probably wait till the end of the year and say, shoot, I need to work out, but now it's Christmas and I'm tired. So I like to think of creating my SMART goals in 90-day time frames. So what we're going to be talking about this week, and this is going to kind of keep coming up, is figuring out what 90 days goals you can create for your business that have to do with social selling. So figuring out, do you need to, totally revamp your social media presence? Are there graphics you need to work on? Is there a digital presence you need to create? Or are you kind of ready to jump in to that social selling? And what are those goals going to be? Growing followers, reaching out to more people, booking more sales calls, using LinkedIn, getting video onto your platform. We're going to think about what kind of goals we can create, and we're going to put that 90-day deadline on them. Sound good? Okay. I hope so. Let me see. Is anyone in the comments? Give me a heart or a thumbs up if you're with me, if you think that this can happen. Can we set some 90-day goals, guys? Oh, good. Okay, a few people said yes, we can set some 90-day goals. So what I want you to think about is, as you're conducting your social media audit, your homework today is review your social media, whether it's your personal or your brands or both. Review your social media for accuracy and completion. Make sure you do some updates. And then I want you to start thinking about 2 goals that you can really start to hone in on and make specific for this 90-day time frame. So are you looking to make more sales or add more clients? Maybe you're freelance and you say, man, I would love at the end of 90 days to have 2 new clients for my freelance, service that I offer. Think about what that target client is. Make sure that you've got your packages buttoned up, and we'll talk a little bit about that, because when you are meeting people online and setting up these calls, or these, better yet, Zoom meetings online, you want to know exactly what it is that you're selling, so you're not all over the place, because that's the worst feeling when you finally get a call booked and you're on the phone with somebody and you're just kind of talking to them and you're thinking, I have no idea if they're my right client or what I am even going to offer them. I love to have all of that kind of down on paper. I'm all about having my cheat sheet of my notes, all of that down on paper, so I know who I'm talking to and what kind of offering that I want to give to them. So we're going to be thinking about and working through a lot of that as well. So today, to recap, we went over personal branding, which had so much to do with the fact that we are, we have a digital presence whether we want to or not. And even our lack of a digital presence shows people who we are or who we aren't and what our kind of interest level is with connecting with them online. We also talked about social selling success. So how to conduct these social media audits so you can look at and review what your social media platforms look like, what your followers are looking like, who is following you, and also what you can do to better, present yourself and your business in the space. And then ultimately, we talked about setting SMART goals. And we're going to go with this 90-day timeline. We're going to set specific goals that are meant to grow your business. So if you are looking to add new clients or launch a digital product, we're going to think about that in terms of 90 days. Think about something, because we want these to be stretch goals. So think about something that normally you would have said, oh, this is my goal for 2021. We're going to crunch it down into 90 days and talk a little bit about how we can move the needle forward, be very productive, be very conscious with our time, and achieve those big goals in our 90-day time frame. How does that sound, guys? Does it sound good? Let's see. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Oh, good. So of course, Paul lives in the 90-day time frame, he says. I love it. Time limits are important, Randy says, and working in 30, 60, and 90 time slots are great, and then putting things in writing and telling people about them, yes. So we are going to be sharing. We're going to be sharing over this next 8 days what goals we came up with, because it's so true, which is what Dr. Randy said, that you've got to put those goals in writing. They can't just be in your brain, and you also have to tell people about them. I hear a lot that, sometimes memes on social media are not always accurate, but I'll sometimes hear and see memes online and hear from people who say, oh, do all your work in silence, so then when you just show up, you're successful and everyone wonders how you did it. But I really find that it is community that kind of keeps me honest. If I don't tell anybody I'm doing something, when I give up 2 days later, there's no skin in the game. No one knows that I was going to work on something. But if I start telling people about my ideas, then 1, it helps me kind of brainstorm and cultivate. 2, you never know who's going to help you out. And 3, it also is going to keep you really accountable, because it's like, oh my gosh, I told somebody that I was starting this new product line and now they're going to ask about it. And even if they never do, it is your, subconscious mind that is kind of thinking, oh my gosh, every time I see them, they're going to wonder if I was doing this thing or moving forward or progressing toward this goal. So I absolutely am on team share your goals and let people know what it is that you are looking to achieve and working on, because you never know who's going to help you or who's going to have a referral for you. And if you don't let them know what you're working on, they're not going to be able to refer you. So just like my story at the beginning when I was laid off for the first time and my dad told me to let everyone I knew know that I had been laid off, it was terrifying. But if I never let anybody know, I would have never gotten that first freelance gig 6 weeks after getting laid off. And my business wouldn't have just, started itself into motion without me really doing anything but showing up and not being afraid to let people know where I was and what I was working on. So ultimately, so many good things can come from us taking that leap of faith and the courage to share. So share with me over these next 8 days. I'm going to be keeping an eye on these comments, and we are going to set these goals, figure out how to work through milestones, and how to use social media to help us achieve these goals in our business. I am so pumped that you guys hung out with me today. I appreciate you spending time with me. I hope that you have so many takeaways and learn so much over the next 8 days. We are going to have a great time. And remember, your homework is review your social media for accuracy and completion, update it where it's needed, and then also start to think about 2 SMART goals that you can accomplish over the next 90 days. And I will see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place. I'm looking forward, and we will be moving right along in this journey. And as always, these videos will be up in the recording for the next 2 weeks, so you'll be able to watch them. And if you have friends or family who are entrepreneurs who would benefit from this information, definitely tag them, invite them into this group so they can catch the replays and catch the rest of these sessions also. Make it a great day. Get outside, get some fresh air, and also work hard and grow those businesses. I'll see you all tomorrow.